Afghanistan to take ownership of their future, to govern their society, and to achieve an everlasting peace.
I don't think Trump. Hi, everybody. This is Mark Fuckins from Inquiry News. Trump just said for them to create an everlasting peace. The problem is that's what happened with the Taliban. The Taliban came in there and got everybody together and created their own society. That's when Bin Laden came in there and everything is to create their own society, which they did. And then they started, it slowly transformed into cutting people's tongues out and all these kind of cutting people's arms and hands off and punishing people. That's what created the Taliban, because they were trying to be more pure and all this kind of weird stuff. And so that's what the Taliban created, was this new society. And they stopped using the banks and usury money and all these kinds of things. And so it became a big cult, and the cult spread about the whole area, and that's what happened when they did this all on their own, trying to create a future of peace, and it ended up becoming a big, huge cult. That's why we had to go there to here for the Taliban thing, is because they went crazy and started doing kind of like the Nazi thing, and harming their own people. That's why we needed to go there too, into Afghanistan, is to clean all that mess up. And that's why we're nation building over there, Trump, is because we needed to go in and help these people out, help the general public, and stop all these crazy nonsense ideas that they were doing, like cutting people's tongues off in the hands and legs and fingers. And so what you're saying is, hey, now we're going to let Afghan go back to doing all that kind of stuff, raping little boys and things like that, and we're just going to look the other way and not worry about it and let them do whatever the hell they want. Well, that's what created the Taliban, Trump. That's what created all this mess that was over there. Don't you know that? What a moron.
We are a partner and a friend, but we will not dictate to the Afghan people how to live or how to govern their own complex society. We are not nation building again. We are killing terrorists.
Hi, this is Mark again. Anyways, he just said we're not nation building again. And what's wrong with our society? There's nothing wrong with putting a democracy there and spreading our Constitution and teaching people how to have a Constitution, how to thou shalt not kill, and I mean, they got lots of Muslims over there. They don't freedom of religion, freedom of speech, and teach people that. There's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong with Trump? I mean, he sounds like he doesn't want to spread democracy or the freedom of speech and freedom, our freedoms that we have here in America. What? You're ashamed of being American? You're ashamed of spreading our what we are as a human beings, as Americans, over to somewhere else like Afghanistan? Are you kidding me? George Washington's rolling in his grave right now. Sure, we project our Constitution and our things to other people. Those people, if anybody needs it, they need to learn how to be honest with people and teach each other how to be kind to each other, not chop off each other's arms and legs, how to go to court and argue things in court instead of killing each other over a goat walking over to someone's yard, goes across the yard instead of shooting each other, learning how to deal with each other and how to treat each other with respect, That's what they need to learn over there, Trump, in Afghanistan, instead of killing each other or cutting each other's tongues out. I mean, what's wrong with spreading democracy to other countries? Unreal. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being an American or having the Constitution, having their own Constitution that's like ours. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with nation building or teaching others to be like us? What's wrong with that? This is lunacy. There's nothing filthy or bad about teaching other people to love one another or have Christian values. A lot of those Muslims have terrible values. Obviously, they're blowing up people and killing people and murdering people. And, they even teach the people killing an infidel is not a sin. I mean, they seem to want to kill anybody. They don't like you. They kill you over there. Uh, so what's the big deal? What? It's not so bad. I think it's a great idea to teach people over there about freedom of speech and freedom of religion and to respect each other and things like that. What's so bad about that, Trump? Well, why is it such an evil thing to teach democracy to people over there? If anybody needs to learn freedom and women's rights. I mean, what? We're not going to teach women's rights over there? A lot of those women wear the sheet over the head with the holes cut out, and they can't even walk around in public or go to school and learn. They're illiterate because women have no rights over there. And teaching them, allowing women to have rights over there, we're going to not teach them that. We're going to let them rape little boys over there, not teach them that that's wrong, that men should not be able to rape little boys. I mean, we should teach them how American values are important here, and they should know, and their laws should express those things. We should go over there and say, yeah, this is how you should live. I think we should impress upon them the way our ways are. We've taught that to the Japanese, and we taught that to a lot of other countries, all Taiwan, all over. We spread the American ideals all over the world. What's wrong with that, Trump? That's insane.
Afghans will secure and build their own nation and define their own future. We want them to succeed, but we will no longer use American military might to construct democracies in faraway lands or try to rebuild other countries in our own image. Those days are now over.
Hi there, everybody. Oh my goodness. Here it is again. He says something one more and he keeps repeating it. Here you go. We're not going to go out and create democracy in faraway places anymore. What the heck is he talking about? Afghanistan, what happened is we went into Afghanistan, we helped them beat the Russians up. Then we split and took over. And that created a vacuum where the Taliban comes in, where other terrorists came in. It became a safe haven for terrorists. That's what happened, okay? So now Trump's saying, "Oh, hey, we're going to step back and only go in there and beat up terrorists, and that's all we're going to do, and we're going to let Afghan do whatever the hell it wants." But that's exactly what happened before, Trump. You freaking moron. So what's going to happen is that we're going to now go out there and supposedly kill some terrorists, I guess, and let the Afghan government fall apart and end up becoming a terrorist itself. So now we'll be surrounded with terrorists. The government will become its own terrorist organization, and the Taliban will become its own terrorist. We'll beat up those guys while the government becomes a terrorist organization, and then we'll have terrorists surrounded all around our soldiers. We won't know who's not a terrorist organization over there. It'll be just one big mess. That's what Trump's going to do. It's just going to be one big mess.
Instead, we will work with allies and partners to protect our shared interests. We are not asking others to change their way of life, but to pursue common goals that allow our children to live better and safer lives. This principled realism will guide our decisions moving forward. Military power alone will not bring peace to Afghanistan or stop the terrorist threat arising in that country. But strategically applied force aims to create the conditions for a political process to achieve a lasting peace.
Trump, oh my goodness, lasting realism. Here, there, I just farted in Trump's face. That's some realism. Holy cow, I can't believe this moron. Afghanistan became evil because the Taliban came in there and other terrorist groups came in there, and it was a safe haven for them because we left, okay, and caused a mess. Now we want to leave the Afghan government to do whatever it wants to do, and it will become like Saudi Arabia, Dubai, and so which chops people's hands off, if they catch you stealing or even think of stealing, or you think maybe your wife is sleeping out on you and they stone them to death. I mean, they have big displays of stoning people to death in Saudi Arabia right now. So now Afghanistan will go back to doing that kind of stuff, stoning people to death and chopping their hands off, their tongues off. That's what the Taliban was doing in the beginning. That's why everybody's afraid of the Taliban. Now they'll tell the Afghan people, the Afghan government, they'll say, okay, yeah, you can do that if you want to now. We don't care. You can go ahead and rape little boys and do that if you want to. It's okay. We're going to look the other way now. And so that's what Trump's telling it. Now the Afghan government will become a government everybody will be scared of now, and in itself will become like what Hussein used to be. And so now we'll be supporting a government that will be like the government Hussein used to be, and now we're supporting a terrorist government again, instead of promoting a government that's like our government. Instead of putting a government in there that's like our government, and we try to do the best we can to have a government that's like the government we have here. What the hell's wrong with Trump? So now we're going to have a crappy, shitty government in power in Afghanistan that we promote, that goes out and chops people's tongues, chops people's limbs, shoot people in the back of the head, executes people, does all the bad things again, makes America look bad, and eventually we'll have to probably go shoot the leader of that government in the head and put another person in charge, and a big mess will happen. So that's what we're going to end up doing again, because the Afghan government that's in power now will go out there and start doing bad things and turn into an evil government, and then we'll have to go clean that mess up again because of Trump. Because Trump will allow them to do whatever they want, and they're going to end up doing bad things, and it'll look and become an evil government instead of putting in a government that is like our government and our values. Like Trump said, we're not going to care about the values that they go in. What the heck is wrong? What's wrong with our values? There's nothing wrong with our values. We should demand excellence from anybody that we start any kind of government we back. We should demand excellence. We should demand them to do like we do, and that is, freedom of speech, the Constitution that we have, and expect them to be like us. Of course we should. We're the ones sending the military over there to defend them and take care of the Taliban for them. We should demand them to keep the commandments that we have to do and our kind of laws. We should demand that they do our kind of laws. And like we're doing in Iraq, we told them they should do a constitution like we have, and trying to get them to be like us. Of course we should. We should get something for our blood and sweat and our people dying over there. And then now now Trump is changing it so that we'll have a crappy government now that will become a terrorist government starting right now. Isn't that wonderful? Oh my goodness. What a crap. Oh my goodness. This is terrible. So anyway, that's the writing on the wall. So now the Afghan government's going to be a crappy government. It's becoming a dictator. It's going to become a government that's going to harm people really bad. And I can just see that going down the hill from now on. So that's what Trump's going to do for you. So that's the kind of crappy government he's going to allow the Afghan government to go crazy, do bad things, and end up being a crappy dictator, probably like the Shah of Iran did, and he got kicked out of Iran. So now this Afghan government will go do bad things and become a black eye to us, and that's not what we should be doing. We should always demand if we go help other countries out, they should they should be required to do what we do here. Keep the commandments, do what's right, have freedom of speech, let the women go get an education, not be illiterate, not have to wear a sheet over their head with the holes cut out. Boo! And be a ghost. They should be able to have freedom to walk around like we do here. They should be able to wear shorts or pants, walk around in public, be able to have freedom of religion, freedom of speech, be able to vote, those kinds of things. And all the many other things that we get to do here in America. They should be able to spread democracy around the world. What's wrong with that? That's not some dirty, dirty thing to ask people to do. I think all countries should be free. What's wrong with spreading freedom around the world? I am just so distraught and upset. It's just unbelievable. Anyway, that's what Trump's doing. Anyway, time to go. Talk to you later. Let me know what you think. Please click and share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Mark Wilkins signing off. Query News.